Hi friends, here I am with the new lecture in joints. The question is customers who have visited but did not make any transactions. This is the third question in joint section, and you can see that we have been given two tables, visits and transactions. Uh, in visits table, we have, if you look at the schema, we have two fields, visit ID and customer ID, both of integer types. They're saying that visit ID is the column with unique values for this table, and this table contains information about the customers who visited the mall. Okay, so that means it is as simple as, right, it is it contains the details of the customers who have visited the mall. Okay, just that thing, visit ID and the customer ID. Okay, and it is saying that visit ID is it contains the unique values. I like, when I am reading this problem, a small thing that has strike my mind. So you know that they have not said this is a primary key, right? So what is the difference between the primary key and unique value is that all unique values are not primary keys, guys. So because if a column is said to be unique, that means it can contain null values. Okay, primary key column and unique value column is not same. Okay, and then comes the transactions table. So it is having three fields, transaction ID, visit ID and amount. Okay, all are of type integer, and transaction ID is the column with unique values for this table. This table contains information about the transactions made during the visit ID. Okay, right? So they're asking us to write a solution to find the IDs of the users who made without, sorry, who visited without making any transactions, and the number of times they made these types of visits. Great question, right? Previously we were dealing with only straightforward joins, but now you can see that they have asked slightly more. Okay, they have moved one step ahead. So that is the beauty of this SQL 50 series, guys. It is amazingly, they have listed out all the SQL problems. Like this is the way that we have to learn. Okay, we have to not jump directly to the advanced problem, but instead we need to start solving with smaller problems, and then try to add one step further, right? Try to add one step further. We have to, like, structure our learning. Okay, not directly jumping onto the advanced problem, but start with the easy problem, and slightly add one more step to it, one more step to it. So that is the that is how we get to the medium and advanced level problems. Okay. Yep. Now, yeah. So they're asking us to find the users who visited without making any transaction. That means you can see that visit ID is the we can we know that visit ID is the common column, right? So this is the column on which we have to join. So here visit ID, visits table will contain the customers who have visited, and transactions will have the data customers who have made it transactions. They're asking us to find the customers who have visited but not made any transactions, right? So this is a very this question is amazing, right? Because they have not, in the previous two questions they were saying directly, we would get directly which join we have to use, but here they have indirectly said that find all the users who have visited without making any transactions, right? So that means we have to use a left join. Again, we have to use the same left join here, but this time we need to find only, we need to find out the, after using the left join, we need to count the rows wherever the right table, okay, the right table values are null. Okay, wherever the right table values are null. Okay, so that means what, left join will give us, like I've said previously, left join will give us every row from the left table, and matching, and for that every row on the left table, the corresponding right table value, only matching rows will be coming, and wherever the match is not there, for that left table values, all the right table values will be null. Okay. Yep. So return the result table sorted in any order, and the result format is in the following example. Okay. So if we go through this sample test case, okay. So we have been given this visits ID. So you can see that visit ID 1, customer ID 23, visit ID 2, customer ID this, and 4, and this, and for this all Okay, and transactions, you can see if you go through this data, transaction ID is 2 and visit ID is 5. So visit ID means what? 54. The customer ID 54 has visited and he had made the transaction. So 3 transaction, 5 has visited again and he had made a transaction. So total, if you see that 1, 2 and 5, only 3 customers have visited and they have made a transaction, and remaining all except 1, 2 and 5, that is 4, 6, 7, 8, they have visited but they have not made any transaction, guys. So we need to find out those guys and how many times they have like this they have visited without making any transaction. Okay, so you can see that 54 has visited 2 times. Okay, the number of times he has visited, and 30 has visited only 1 time like that without making any transactions, and 96 has also visited without making any transactions. Okay, so let us solve this problem, guys, and in between I will also walk you through the execution, like what is happening. So we'll start from the from. So from table, that is visits v, and we are doing a left join now, right? Left join transactions, t. Okay, so on which column that we are doing this join, that is visit id. Okay, so v dot visit id equals to t dot visit id. Okay, so now we will just see this whole join. Okay, what is we'll just do a select star and we will see what is the output of this particular query. Okay, so if we do this left join, you can see that what has happened. So we will get each and every row from the left table. Okay, each and every row we will get from the we will get every row from the left table, and wherever the visit id is matched in the right table, we will get the right table value for that, and wherever the left table data is not present in the visit id, that is visit id, if it is not present in this transaction visit id, then for that for that type of row, that type of rows in left table, my right table values will be null. So if you see that for this particular row, that is 1 and 23, right? So this is that row 1 and 23. One is one present here. You can see that visit id 1 is present, so it got matched with 12, 1 and 910. Okay, you can see that 123 has mapped with 1, 12, 1 and 910. Okay, and coming to the second row, 2 and 9, visit id 2 is also present in the transactions table, so it got matched with 13, 2 and 970. Okay, 2, 9, 13 has matched with 2 and 970. 4 and 30, for row number 4 and 30, it is not there, like 4 is not there in the visit id, so it there was no match for it. So for this table, okay, for this row in the left table, my right table value will be null. You can see that 4 and 30 from the left table, my right table values is null. Okay, so you can see that these two columns are from left table and these three columns came from the right table. So 4 was not present, so for that particular row, my right table values have been filled with null. Okay, coming to the next row, 5 and 54, you can see that 5 is there. You can see that 5 is present 3 times. Okay, so what will join do here? 5 is there 3 times, so you can see 5 has been matched 3 times for all these rows. For my left row, it has matched with all these complete rows. Okay, so 5, 54 with 2, 5 and 3 turn. Okay, 2, 5 and 3 10, and again 5 and 54 with 3, 5 and 300, and again 554 with 9, 5 and 200. Okay, so for the 5th visit id, that means what? Okay, what it depicts. Okay, so visit id 5, customer id 54 means, you can see that in transactions table, the visit ID 5, it has appeared 3 times. That means customer 54 in the same visit, okay, in the same visit, that is the ID, the visit with the ID 5, he has made 3 transactions. Okay, okay, customer number 54 on the visit ID 5, he has made 3 transactions. Okay, he has also visited in the other in the other visits also, like he has visited on 7 ID and 8 ID, but he has not made any transactions on that day. Okay, so 6 guy has not made any transaction, so his values from the right table will be null. Seventh visit ID also, he has not made any transaction, so his values will also be null from the right table. 854 has also not made any transaction, so his right table value is also null. So from this particular intermediate result, now what we need to find out is we need to count the customers who have visited but they have not made any transaction. Okay, so how we will be doing that? So you can see that from here, all this bottom 4 guys, what does it describe? Okay, this describes that they have visited but they have not made any transactions. So what we have to do, we have to count these guys. So if you count these guys manually, you can see that 54 guy, he has visited 2 times, right? 54 guy has visited 2 times without making any transactions, and 6, he has visited 1 time without making 96, he has made 1 time without making any transaction, and 30 without he also visited 1 time without making any transaction. So what we have to do, we have to on this result, we have to first find out wherever my transaction ID is null. After joining these two tables, so after joining these two tables, I have to first filter out where my transaction ID is null. Okay, so the transaction ID is on the right table, right? So it is on the right table. So I will say I'm filtering on I'm filtering on row levels, right? So we'll be using where condition. You can see, one second. So where, let me just check. Okay, so where transaction ID is null. Okay, so let me just also copy this. Okay, copy this intermediate result into here. Oh, one second, something is happening. Okay, and now let me just execute this. Yeah, so I got the error, that is a typo in my field name, that is transaction. Okay, so this is transaction, and now I'll just run it. Okay, so what I did is, I've just after joining on this, like after joining this table, these two tables on left join, I'm just filtering on my rows. Okay, so on this intermediate result, that is after performing this left join, what I've done is I've filtered this table using wherever the t dot transaction ID is null. So all these records will be coming out. Okay, so again, I'm really sorry, I just don't know what is happening. So transaction, so I'm expecting that these 4 records will be coming out. Okay, yes, so now these 4 records means what, like these are the guys. Okay, these are the customers who have visited but they have not made any transaction. Okay, so that is the thing. So now what we have to do, group by, right? So now we have to just group it by the customer ID, and then we have to use that sum aggregation, right? So we have to count like how many transactions they have made. So after this, we'll just use the group by. So on which column we have to group it? We have to group it by the customer ID, right? So customer ID is from the first table, that is visits, right? So customer ID. So okay, so customer ID was yeah, it is in visit only. It is not a common column. So customer ID, and then we need to we cannot do this select star on group data. I hope you know that fundamentals all. So we need to select the customer ID, and what we need to do is we need to count. Okay, we need to count how many times they have made that things. Okay, so if we run this now, this intermediate result that okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to copy that output. So as we have said, like 54 has made two times, so we will be getting all that things. So you can see that 54 has made two times. He has made, like, okay, the result is present here only. So you can see that in this table. Okay, this was the whole left join table. Okay, after filtering this was our result, intermediate result. Okay, so if you see, if we group it by customer ID, so this is the customer ID row. 54 was present two times without making any transaction. 96 was one time, and 30 was also one time. So this is the expected output. Okay, so we are getting the correct output. The only thing is we need to uh, rename this column. Okay, so if I rename this column as count no transactions. Okay, count no trans. So if I run this, I'll be getting correct answer, and I'll submit this. Let us see if it passes on every test case. Yep, it has passed, right? uh, that's it from this problem, guys. So we can check the other solution also. So yes, you can see now, right? So you can see a different solution now, and let us see what we will what he has done. Okay, so they have used a subquery kind of stuff. Okay, so from visits where visit ID is not in. Okay, so they are firstly they are taking the visit IDs from transactions. That means this will have the visit IDs who have made the transactions. Okay, and what they are doing, they are from the, they are again they are selecting the visit ID from the this visits table, and they are checking if if they are not present in the transactions table. That means they will get only the visit IDs who have not made any transaction, and then they are taking the count. Okay, cool solution, right? So that is why, guys, it is always best to do code reviews, and to see your friends code, how they are like how they are solving it. It is always best to, it is always best, and it will also make you learn more, okay, by doing this code reviews. Because if you see in software companies also, the senior guys, they, how they become seniors, they will do a lot of code reviews, and they will do a lot of, debugging, and they will go through their juniors developer codes. So that is why, they become more expert in it. So it is very good to know different ways of solving the problem, right? So these guys have not used any join, right? So that is why their solution was taking less runtime. Okay, so it is always best to go through other codes, and do a lot of code reviews, and check like what other people are using things to optimize the code or to optimize the runtime, right? So it is always the very best thing to, to learn, and keep on growing. Okay, that is the only way to become, more expert in these guys. So if you want to become if you want to become expert in any area, right, you need to teach it. Okay, you need to teach that. Okay, so you can assume that that is what I'm trying, that is why that is what doing here. I'm teaching here so that I become expert in this SQL. Okay, so you can assume it. Okay, so that's it from this lecture, guys. Thank you, we'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Uh, yeah. Hello, guys. So the video is not yet over. Okay. So here I am with the small assignment question. Okay. So uh, yeah, so in this question only I've just added I'm just giving you a one more question which is very easy, and it will make your learning skills even more further better. So this is a small assignment question. So the question, like the original question, was about to find out which customers were not visited but not made any transaction, and how many times they have did. So I my assignment question was simple. Okay, so you need to calculate the total amount for every customer who made a transaction. Okay, so you can see that these were the guys, like these are the visit IDs, right? So you need to calculate, right? You need to get the for you need to find out all the customers who have visited with this visit ID, and you have to, for every customer you have to put you have to get the amount, total amount they have spent. Okay, so I hope you have understood the problem. So this is the problem. It is a very simple question, right? So once you have solved it, you can put your solution below the comment box, right? So in the comment box. Okay, thank you, thanks a lot, happy learning.